What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be jumping back into Wonder Woman with issue number 776. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with the Infinite Frontier, if you haven't been keeping up with Wonder Woman, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with her in this line. And we've seen a lot of interesting things come out of this line thus far. With Wonder Woman dying, she made her way up to the heavens. But instead of going to Olympus like she was supposed to, she ended up in Asgard. Going through her trials and tribulations there, she eventually makes her way to Olympus, where she finds that all of the gods have been murdered because the god Janus had split itself in half. And the evil version taking the appearance of Wonder Woman, carrying a weapon that can cut through reality. And this weapon allowed her to kill all of the gods. Now, Wonder Woman was able to bring all of them back by going to the graveyard of the gods. And now she is trying to track down Janus. And in doing so, it brings her to Elfhame. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in Elfhame, somewhere in the sphere of the gods. And as Wonder Woman and her traveling companion, they make their way to the surface because they had gone down the well in Olympus, which brings them to this lake in Elfhame. And as they make their way to the shore, this is when they come across a giant feast. Desserts, foods of all you could ever want. And immediately Rat jumps on the table and he starts eating away. In doing so, this transforms him. It transforms him into what appears to be a human boy. And he absolutely loses it. Thinking himself to be hideous, thinking himself to just be absolutely grotesque. Just freaking out, not knowing exactly what the heck is going on right now. But this is when they're met by the arrival of the faeries. But these aren't nice fairies. These fairies are super mean. And once they find out exactly where she comes from, once they find out that she comes from Asgard, they get even more hostile. Because Janus has come through here and Janus killed their queen. She killed the queen of Elfhame and now they want revenge. And Wonder Woman tries telling them to leave her alone, to stop, but they end up stabbing her with little knives and everything. And she gets to the point she's ready to just cut these little fairies down. And this is where we see the king of Elfhame make his arrival and call her the Queen Killer because she looks exactly like Janus. And because of this, they believe her to be the one that came here and killed their queen. And so using some kind of elf magic, he ends up making Wonder Woman fall asleep and tells all of the fairies to take her to the tower and take the child to where the rest are being held. And that's what will take us to a little bit later. And Rat is waking up and he is surrounded by some other children. And it appears that the fairies have kidnapped these kids. And this dives into the lore of changelings. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to changelings, but I do know a little bit about the lore behind it. And the idea is that fairies end up kidnapping somebody. It's not usually children, it could be anybody, but in this particular instance, they're doing it just to children. Now, the legend goes that when somebody was seeming depressed or they were really outside their normal self, family members or loved ones would assume that the fairies took them and replaced them with what they called changelings. A changeling being more or less a carbon copy of the person you love, but hollow, empty out, and nothing there. And this was just really early humanity doing their best to try and explain depression and mental illness and so on and so forth. And so with them being locked up here, Rat goes over to the window and calls over a local bird, speaking to this bird trying to send for some kind of help. And that's where we pick up in the tower, with Wonder Woman. And with Wonder Woman up in this tower, she's debating on how she can escape, how she can get out of this place. And that's when Deadman appears to her in a puddle, telling her that she needs to be extremely careful because this place is extremely dangerous. Though she has pretty much learned that already. This place is very weird when it comes to the rules. Even Deadman doesn't really understand all of the rules, and honestly, he is 100% okay with that. But he tells her, first off, don't eat anything here. And also, don't make any promises. Because when you make a promise in Elfhame, it's a promise that has to be kept, no matter the cost of what it would take. And that this place is brimming with magic. So much so that you can talk to people through little puddles on the floor. And this is where the two start to piece together that Jonas ended up taking Wonder Woman's appearance. Because everybody here, they believe that she is the one that killed their queen. And while they're discussing this is where we see Jonas make her arrival. Appearing to Wonder Woman in this puddle, they are finally having a conversation. And what Jonas is telling her is that she is happy that she killed her gods, and that she's going to continue to do it. She's going to find them, and eventually she's going to cut her way through every single reality until she finds her way to Earth. Because the sphere of the gods has become boring to her. Cutting her way through all of the gods, she wants something new. And so she vows to Wonder Woman that she will find Earth. She will cut her way through every reality to get there. But this all gets interrupted because Siggy comes falling through the ceiling. Now Wonder Woman is extremely confused. He was left at Asgard. So she asks, how did you find me? But Rat ended up sending that bird to Asgard to find Siggy, because Siggy can talk to birds. And talking to this bird, he got all the information he needed, went to Odin with this information, and Odin threw a needle into a haystack, told him to find it, and it would lead him to Wonder Woman. And upon finding that needle, once he grabbed it, the next thing he knew, he was falling through this ceiling. And so with the two now together, they kick down the door and they make their way through Elfhame, fighting every magical creature you could possibly think of along the way. Some of them giving them help, some of them giving them guidance, trampling over faeries, learning some of the magic of this place, learning that this sleeping thing, it's not necessarily a magical spell, but it's more the flowers that are in this place. And along their journeys, they learn that the new elf king, he's created more of a militant land, and not everybody is on board with this. And because of that, there are many people that are giving them aid. And this is what brings them to where Rat and the rest of the children are currently being held. Only the Elf King and his entire army are standing right there. And the Elf King tells her that she is the one that killed their queen. And because of this, she is going to pay. And Wonder Woman is straight up with him. Tells him, if you really want to go down this road because of mistaken identity, we could go down this path. But I'm letting you know right now, I am not the one that killed your queen. I am not the one responsible, but if you want a fight, I am willing to give it to you. And so the Elf King, he goes ahead and he agrees. You can have your friend, but the rest of the children, they stay here with us. Now, of course, Wonder Woman, she's not going to agree to these terms, and tells them that all the children will be coming with her. And seeing this as an act of aggression, this is where we see the battle break out. And Wonder Woman starts chopping away at faeries. And this is where we see the king's brother jump in. Him jumping in, Wonder Woman makes quick work of this guy. He is absolutely no challenge for Wonder Woman, even when he has the element of surprise. And with Wonder Woman now holding the brother captive with a sword to his neck, she tells the king to lay down his arms. And he does. He tells all of his army to stand down. And this is where, from the woods, we see everybody that really helped her along the way. Because one of these individuals that helped her is the sister of the queen. And they're saying that she is the rightful heir to the throne. And so she is going to take it from here, saying that they no longer practice in doing these changeling things. And so because of that, they're going to release all of the children. Now, at first, Wonder Woman is a little skeptical, but the new Elf Queen reminds them that a promise made here is a promise that has to be kept. And so promising to protect these children and make sure that they are returned home. There is only one thing left, and that is for Wonder Woman to try to find her way out of here. And she wants to be able to get to Earth, because if that is where Jonas is going, she wants to get there and prepare them for what is about to come. Now, the old Elf King, he knows how to get there. He can show where the passage is. The only issue is they don't know how they're going to convince him to give up the information after he just got dethroned. And this is where Wonder Woman pulls out the lasso that she got from the Valkyries. Now this lasso is kind of weird because it kind of speaks to her. It tells her to use it, almost like it's trying to lure her in. And so this lasso could be extremely dangerous, though she doesn't tell anybody about this, not just yet. But using the lasso, it allows her to command the individual. And because of this, she is able to find out the location of the portal, of the passageway that is going to lead her to Earth. And so with Siggy not being on Earth for at least 1,000 years, he's extremely excited to make his way back. Wonder Woman crawling into the passageway that is in this tree and crawling out the other side, they arrive on Earth. And so Wonder Woman is back. She is back on Earth, she is out of the sphere of the gods, and now the story can get really good. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I am super excited. I'm ready to see what's going to happen with Wonder Woman. Is she going to change the state of events? Is she going to change future state? Or is everything going to continue to play out? How is Jonas going to play into all of this? Are we going to see her arrive on Earth with a reality-altering weapon? A weapon that can literally cut through realities and kill entire pantheons of gods. So I, for one, am super excited to see what is to come, to see what is in store for Wonder Woman, and if she is going to change the state of events as they are playing out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button. Hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.